Imagine booking a massive luxury vacation for just $499, only to check your bank account at the end of the week and realize you actually spent over $2,000. It feels like a total scam, right? But this isn't a glitch, and it's not bad luck. It is a brilliant, highly calculated psychological trap engineered by the cruise industry, and almost every single traveler walks straight into it. If you've ever wondered how a $1.5 billion megaship can afford to cart you around the Caribbean for $71 a day while feeding you unlimited food, you're about to find out the wild reality of how these floating cities actually make their billions. Because the truth is, the moment you step onto that ship, you are no longer just a passenger. You are entering a carefully designed, closed-loop economy where every single detail is optimized to drain your wallet without you even noticing. When you see that $499 price tag for a 7-night cruise, your brain immediately flags it as an incredible deal. Breaking it down, that is about $71 a day for your room, your travel across hundreds of miles of ocean, and all the standard food you can cram into your face. In standard hospitality, that is an absolute financial impossibility. No hotel on Earth can survive on those numbers, especially when you factor in the jaw-dropping costs of just keeping the ship turned on. Take a company like Carnival, for instance. They are managing a mind-boggling daily capacity of over 317,000 guests at sea. To feed that massive population, Carnival alone spends over $4.6 million on food and drinks every single day. And that is just the groceries. When you add in the massive fuel consumption, fixing mechanical issues, paying the crew, and paying off the billions of dollars of corporate debt they took on during the global shutdown, the numbers get scary. Industry data shows it costs a cruise line roughly $237 per passenger every single day, just to keep operations running. But remember, the average revenue they bring in from that base ticket price is only around $149 a day. Do the math on that, and it means the cruise lines are losing a massive amount of money on every single ticket they sell. If they relied only on you buying the cruise itself, the entire industry would collapse into bankruptcy within a week. So how do they stay incredibly rich? They use a classic economic trick called a loss leader strategy. They intentionally price the entry ticket so low that it is impossible to resist, maximizing the number of warm bodies they can get onto the ship. Once they have you trapped in the middle of the ocean, the real business model begins. The second you cross the gangway, you step into the onboard economy, which pulls in about 30% of the industry's total revenue, but accounts for the absolute lion's share of their pure profit margins. The physical layout of the ship isn't random. It is engineered like a premium shopping mall or a casino to constantly nudge you towards secondary spending. They make this completely frictionless by eliminating real money. You link your credit card to a room key or a wearable wristband, turning real cash into an abstract digital tap. When you don't physically see cash leaving your hands, your brain stops tracking the spending, completely short-circuiting your natural budget warnings. The absolute king of this onboard goldmine is the beverage program. Cruise lines know that people love to let loose on vacation, so they offer tiered, unlimited alcohol packages that look like a great deal on paper, but are actually massive cash cows. Depending on the line, these packages can run anywhere from $70 to over $120 per passenger per day, often with an automatic 18% gratuity slapped on top. The profit margins here are completely wild. The actual wholesale cost of the ingredients for a standard cocktail is barely over $1, but when they sell that same drink at the ship bar for $14 or $16, they are looking at a markup that regularly blows past 800%. To even reach the financial break-even point on a $100 a day drink package, you would have to chug 7 to 9 alcoholic beverages every single day for an entire week. The cruise lines use massive piles of behavioral data to predict your exact choices. They know that while your consumption will spike wildly during the first 48 hours because of the excitement, your body simply cannot keep up that pace. By day 4 or 5, the average passenger's drinking drops off significantly, ensuring the prepaid package stays incredibly profitable for the corporation. And the upselling doesn't stop at the bar. While the main dining room is technically free, the cruise lines deliberately put their most incredible high-end restaurants in the highest traffic areas of the ship. Walking past a gorgeous steakhouse, a vibrant sushi bar, or an open-flame grill makes the standard buffet look ordinary, creating an instant feeling that you're missing out on the real experience. Suddenly, paying an extra $40 to $60 per person for a single dinner feels totally justified. Even your connection to the outside world is monetized at a massive premium. Getting basic internet at sea can easily cost $30 to $40 a day, racking up nearly $300 for a single week. Thanks to new low-Earth orbit satellite systems like Starlink, the cruise line's actual cost for data has plummeted to almost nothing, meaning your daily Wi-Fi fee is almost pure, unadulterated profit straight to their bottom line. The moment the ship sails out of port, another massive profit engine kicks into high gear. the onboard casino. By law, as soon as the ship hits international waters, usually just 12 miles away from land, the casino lights turn on. Because these gaming floors operate completely outside the legal reach of any domestic government, they aren't bound by the strict rules that state gambling commissions enforce on land. They don't have to guarantee a minimum payout percentage on slot machines or digital games. This total lack of regulation turns the casino into one of the highest grossing, most profitable spaces per square foot on the entire vessel. But the cruise lines didn't stop at capturing your money while you're on the water. They also figured out how to completely dominate your time on land. Historically, when a ship docked in a sovereign country like Mexico or the Bahamas, it caused what economists call an economic leak. Passengers would step off the ship and spend their cash at local restaurants, local bars, and independent tour companies, leaving the cruise line with nothing. To completely stop this leak, the major cruise conglomerates executed a massive strategy of vertical integration. They bought up entire private islands and turned them into exclusive corporate paradises like Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day at Coco Cay or Carnival's Celebration Key. When you step off the ship onto one of these private islands, the cruise line is the only business open for business. Every single dollar spent on a $1,000 a day private cabana rental, a $150 water park ticket, or a simple beach cocktail goes straight back into the exact same corporate pocket. Even when the ship does visit a public port, the cruise lines still control the cash flow through a lucrative referral model. If you book a $150 snorkeling excursion through the ship's official app, the local tour operators who actually run the boats and provide the gear typically only see about half of that money. The cruise line quietly pockets the other 40 to 50%, just for acting as the middleman and marketing the tour to you. Yet, none of this incredible profitability would even be possible without a brilliant, hyperlegal framework known as the flag of convenience. Even though the biggest cruise giants are headquartered in major American cities like Miami and make almost all their money from North American travelers, their massive ships are almost never registered in the United States. Instead, they fly the flags of countries like the Bahamas, Panama, or Liberia. Under international maritime law, a ship is legally bound only by the rules of the country whose flag it flies. This specific loophole grants the cruise industry two unbelievable economic superpowers, dodging corporate income taxes and driving labor costs down to the absolute floor. First, by registering their fleets in these foreign nations, these multi-billion-dollar corporations legally bypass standard corporate income taxes on their core shipping operations. Because of this legal setup, the global effective tax rate for the largest cruise companies in the world historically sits at a mind-boggling 1 to 2%. Second, flying a foreign flag completely exempts these companies from domestic labor laws, including standard minimum wage and overtime regulations. Running a modern megaship requires a highly specialized crew of over 2,000 workers to handle everything from engineering to hospitality. By using the flag of convenience system, cruise lines can recruit globally, pulling a massive portion of their workforce from developing regions like Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. This allows them to pay wages based on international maritime standards, rather than standard Western minimums. To make these lower base salaries attractive to hospitality staff, the industry built a brilliant structural mechanism into your bill, the automatic gratuity. Every single day you are on board, a charge of $16 to $20 per person is automatically tacked onto your account. While it feels like a reward for good service, it actually functions as a corporate tool that allows the cruise line to subsidize its baseline labor costs directly out of your pocket. This keeps the advertised price of the ticket unbelievably low, ensuring that the initial hook stays sharp enough to catch the next wave of travelers. By combining international legal loopholes with massive economies of scale, total control over destination spending, and data-driven psychology, the cruise industry has built an absolute masterpiece of modern capitalism, reliably turning a cheap $500 ticket into a massive multi-$1,000 payday.